It's 7:32 on Friday, the 23rd of April, 2021. This is going to be a tornado warning in far southeast Texas for portions of Tyler, Newton, and Jasper counties. It's going to be for a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northwest of Buna, or about the same distance southwest of Kirbyville. Now, let's be clear. Those of you in Kirbyville, those of you on Highway 96 south of Kirbyville need to move to a safe place very quickly. This storm has ramped up in a hurry and is definitely capable of putting a tornado down at any time. Let's switch over to the which way the winds blow mode. You can see, even though we have some noisy radar data, we have a very strong circulation developing now southwest of Kirbyville, north of Buna. It's going to cross Highway 96, about halfway between Kirbyville and Buna. This is in far southeast Texas. Not only does this include Buna and Kirbyville, this includes Highway 87, farther to the east. So those of you in Buna and Kirbyville in southeast Texas, this is northeast of Beaumont, northwest of northwest of Orange, need to be in a safe place immediately. This is a dangerous looking circulation that could put a tornado down at any time. The messy storm mode today has prevented tornado issues across much of east-southeast Texas today, which is good because we have very strong low-level wind shear. However, this storm has managed to ramp itself up in a hurry, so those of you in Kirbyville and Buna need to take immediate tornado safety precautions. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard-soled shoes and a helmet if you have time. But those of you in Kirbyville need to take immediate tornado safety precautions. Those of you south of Kirbyville on Highway 96 need to really hurry up and get into a safe place immediately. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm that could put a tornado down at any time. No mobile homes whatsoever. You're better off getting in a car and driving away than being in a mobile home during a tornado. That being said, you don't want to be stuck in a car either if a tornado hits, but, I mean, it's kind of the worst of two evils. This storm is showing pretty intense signs that it wants to put a tornado down. We'll have a new radar scan in just a moment, but this potential tornado will be crossing Highway 6 a couple miles south of Kirbyville in just a couple minutes. So those of you in Kirbyville, south of Kirbyville on Highway 96, southeast of Kirbyville on Highway 87, and those of you on Highway 96 north of Buna need to take immediate tornado safety precautions. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you, and the outside as possible. No trailers, no mobile homes. Put on a helmet, put on hard-soled tennis shoes, or put on hard-soled shoes if you have time. This does not include places like Jasper or Newton, Deweyville. It is well north of Beaumont, well north of Orange. And this is a dangerous thunderstorm capable of putting a tornado down at any time. It would likely be completely wrapped in rain. You wouldn't be able to see it. Not to mention you've got trees blocking your view. As we switch back to the which way the wind's blowing mode, even though we have a bit of a noisy scan on this, you can definitely see we have strong rotation approaching Highway 96, a few miles south of Kirbyville. If you're in Kirbyville and south of Kirbyville, I want you to be in a safe place now. Same thing if you're in Buna or north of Buna. If you're on Highway 96 or near Highway 96 between Kirbyville and Buna, you need to be in a safe place immediately. Same thing goes if you're on near Highway 87 all the way to the Louisiana state line. You need to be in a safe place now. If you're in or north of Buna, in or south of Kirbyville. This is a dangerous storm that could put a tornado down at any time. Even if it's a weak, brief tornado, those can cause significant damage. So that's what we have going on right now. We have no other tornado warnings ongoing in the state of Texas. We've got hailers in northwest Texas. We have hailers southeast as the San Antonio Metro moving into the coastal plains. Those are not tornado warned. They are producing hail and damaging winds and heavy rain, a lot of lightning. No tornadoes with those right now, but you can keep track of them using our free interactive radar on our website at texasstormchasers.com/radar. but we are focusing our efforts on a tornado-warned storm approaching Kirbyville, Texas, near Call in far southeast Texas. This will be moving out of the state of Texas into southwest Louisiana by 8 o'clock or so. Those of you in and south of Kirbyville, those of you in and north of Buda on Buna on Highway 96 and on Highway 87, if you're near those two cities, those two highways, you need to be in shelter now. This includes Buna, Kirbyville, Besme, Texas. You need to be in a safe place immediately, as this dangerous thunderstorm attempts to put a tornado down. And if there is a tornado there, it's probably going to be obscured by trees and by rain. You need to take your immediate safety precautions. Kirbyville, Buna. This storm's moving east at a brisk 50 miles an hour, so it won't be in one place long. We'll switch over to the which way the wind is blowing mode. You'll see we do have a strong circulation indicated by the weather radar in Lake Charles. As we switch over to the debris tracker, we'd be looking for any blue donuts. Now, a lot of this blue you see right over Highway 96, that is bad data. That's some air being ingested into the circulation. That's not tornado debris being lofted. We don't see any tornado debris at this point. Nevertheless, this thing could put a tornado down at any time. Even if it doesn't have a tornado down, it likely has a very strong rear flank downdraft coming down on the backside of the circulation. Those winds could exceed 70 miles per hour, and that in itself can knock down trees and cause damage, block roadways from down trees, and of course trees can fall on buildings, so that's no good either. Kirbyville, you're likely getting some hail right now, but this is a storm that is now about to cross Highway 96, about 6 to 7 miles south of Kirbyville. It'll do the same thing as it crosses Highway 87 in about 10 minutes. And remember, even if there's no tornado, there's likely very strong winds on the backside of the circulation that will impact locations as the storm continues to move east. We'll put a quick storm track on this thing. You can see it's moving east, northeast, probably not as, might be a little more accurate. It's probably moving a little more east than this shows, but it will be out of the state of Texas in about 20 to 25 minutes, near Maryville, Louisiana, in about 20 minutes. DeRidder, Louisiana, in about 40 minutes. It'll pass north of DeQuincy, most likely, unless the storm takes more of a right-hand turn and moves more easterly. However, those of you in Kirbyville need to be in shelter now, as a potential rain-wrapped tornado is passing near or just south of town. While we're here, we'll go ahead and take a look at the storms moving into the coastal Bend region, southeast of San Antonio. Got a supercell thunderstorm capable of producing damaging hail. One moment, please, while I adjust my data view. This is where elevator music would come in handy. Just imagine I'm singing elevator music. Alright, this is going to be a very nasty supercell, dropping probably destructive hail on top of Camp Belton right now, moving towards Whiteset, passing south of McCoy, moving towards Pawnee, crossing Interstate 37 right now between Camp Belton and Whiteset, the potential for very destructive hail. We do note that Hook Echo. We'll see if there's any low-level rotation. There's not really any low-level rotation. Unlike areas farther north and northeast, the wind shear in the low levels is pretty weak across the coastal bend in South Texas. But this thing's definitely putting down really big hail and the potential for damaging straight-line winds. Over the next hour, this storm could cross over Highway 72 and Highway 181 south of Kennedy. We note additional thunderstorms just exiting Bexar County and the San Antonio Metro. Those are moving east-southeast, could impact the Highway 181 corridor all the way down to Kennedy too and Karnes City. So these storms are producing hail and damaging straight-line winds along with some much-needed heavy rainfall. I don't think anyone's going to object to having some rain. We need it. We'll go ahead and take a peeky around northwest Texas and see what we have going on. Specifically, North Texas, there's no severe storms in North Texas right now. The tornado warning that was for Denton County about 40 minutes ago was canceled. That storm's in Grayson County, not tornadic. It's producing heavy rainfall. We've got storms producing small hail, heavy rain, frequent lightning from near Hillsborough to Waxahachie to Seagoville, north and west of Terrell to Quinlan to Greenville. Those are not severe, and those are moving northeast. The previously tornadic supercell that dropped multiple tornadoes and destroyed a few buildings south of Vernon has congealed into a small cluster of thunderstorms now, from south of Granfield, Oklahoma to west of Iowa Park, just east of Electra, to south of Electra. These are moving east-southeast at about 25 miles an hour and will move into Wichita Falls to Archer City within the next 1 to 1.5 hours. The potential for quarter to golf ball size hail, winds of 70 miles an hour. We note another severe storm crossing Highway 6 north of Quanah on the Red River near El Dorado, Oklahoma, south of Gould, southwest of Altus. This storm is probably moving southeast as well at about 30 miles an hour. Could have quarter to ping pong ball size hail winds of 70 miles an hour. So the only tornado warning we have in the state of Texas right now is with a thunderstorm northeast of Beaumont, north of Orange, passing over Highway 96 just south of Kirbyville. This is going to be moving over Highway 87 southeast of Kirbyville in the next 10 minutes before moving into southwestern Louisiana. Potential for a rain-wrapped tornado with this storm as it moves east over the next 10 minutes, crosses over Highway 87, and then moves into Louisiana, southeast of Kirbyville. So those of you in the tornado warning should have already been in your safe place. We will keep an eye on the storms across the remainder of Texas. At this point, we'll quit live coverage for now, and I actually have to get back to editing some tornado video that meteorologist Jason Cooley and others documented earlier. So we'll keep an eye on the sky and provide updates as needed. Make sure you're following your local National Weather Service offices. You've got Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, Norman for North Texas, and of course the Weather Service in Fort Worth for North Texas and the DFW Metroplex. So I'm David Reimer of the Texas Storm Chasers. Stay weather aware, and remember, it's late April. Severe weather's normal for the state of Texas. Just stay weather aware.